Hello students, welcome to the lecture of Python programming. We have already discussed so many things in our past lectures. Let us see decision control statements in our today's lecture. Myself, P. Shilpa Chaitanya, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering from Vignans Nirula Institute of Technology and Science for Women. So, today's agenda is totally decision control statements. Now, let us move on to the first topic, that is control statements. What are the control statements? What do you mean by control statement? A control statement is a statement that determines the control flow of set of instructions. So, it decides the sequence of instruction, which instruction to perform, which instruction not to perform. We'll check the condition whether we have to perform the instruction or we won't want to perform the instruction based on the condition that we are applying. So, you are controlling some set of statements based on your condition which you are applying. Is that clear, students? So, the types of control statements are sequential control, selection control and iterative control. Coming to the sequential control, your normal programs, you are writing step by step program. You will declare a variable, you will assign that variable, you will calculate the calculator and you will print the variable. Isn't it? So, it is a sequential control. You are doing in each and every step sequentially from the first line to last line you are following a particular sequence. So, that is nothing but sequential control statements. Then talking about selection control statement. So, these statements are the set of statements which are executed when the condition is true. It will execute when the condition is true some set of statements. If the condition is not true, it will execute some other set of statements. So, those statements are called selection control statements. Then talking about iterative control statements. Iterative control statements means a number of times you want to execute the specified set of statements, we can execute them, we can iterate them, we can repeat them. Okay, in this iterative control statement, we can execute the set of statements in n number of times which we are specifying in the condition, in the control flow. So, those statements are called iterative control statements. So, as you already know, selection control statements are if statements, if else statements, nested if statements. Whereas talking about iterative control statements, we will have break, we will have for, while, do while, like that. So, in Python programming, what are the selection control statements available and what are the iterative control statements available? Let us see in this lecture. Yes, talking about the first statement, that is if statement, which is a selection statement. Is that clear? So, that syntax of if statements is if you are specifying the condition. As I already told you, when you are writing an indentation, the block will be started with a colon. So, if test expression, that is the condition which you are specifying, colon, give the indentation to that statements and write the set of statements that will satisfy that test condition. Is that clear? Then come back to the indentation where the block is completed. So, the statement X will be continued. So, this is the syntax of if statement. If, condition, indentation, group of statements and come back. Close your block of statements and come back to the original program. Is that clear, students? So, how this if statement will work? So, with the form of a flowchart. Test condition, if it is true, it will execute the block of statements. If it is false, it will come back to the statement X. So, this is in this way the flow of if statement will look like. Let us see with an example. Here in this if statement, we are taking a variable, that is X is equal to 0. Here you are checking the condition. If the X value is greater than 0, you have to print X is incremented by 1. If it is not greater than 0, then what will happen? It will print the X value itself. So, here in this program, X, that is 10 greater than 0. S, the condition is true. So x is incremented by 1. That is x is equal to 10 plus 1. Now x value is 11. So the output is x is equal to 11. Is that clear, students? So if statement is a selection statement. Clear? Then talking about the next selection statement, that is if else. Let us see the syntax of if else. As like your if statement, here if else statement is also consisting of test expression. That is if test expression colon indentation statement block 1. Else, come back from the indentation because else is another block. So else, there is no question of condition here. If the statement is true, it will execute block 1. If the statement is false, it will come to the else part and it will print block 2 statement. So statement block 2. Then statement X. So this is a syntax for if else statement. How the flow will look like. If the test condition is true, it will execute block 1. If the test condition is false, it will execute block 2. Is that clear? So if anything, either block 1 execute or block 2 execute, at the end it will come to the statement X. So let us see with an example. Here in this, we have taken example. We have taken an example, that is age. So we are taking the input as age. So we are taking an age as our input and we are checking whether the age is eligible for or not. Whether it is eligible or not. So here print you are eligible. Else, if it is not true, you are getting to the not eligibility. Is that clear, students? Is that clear, students? Let us see with an example. So age, int input, you are getting an age. If the age is greater than 18, then greater than or equal to 18, then you are eligible to vote. If your age is not greater than 18, then it will print wait for another some more years. That is also stating here. Okay, so I have given 18 as my age, so it is printed. So your age is not eligible for, you have to wait another 8 more years because you have to wait another 8 more years because I have entered the age as 10. So which is not in the if loop. It will not come to the if loop. It will come to the else part and it will check how many years we have to wait to vote. Is that clear, students? So this is if else statement. Then talking about nested if else statement. So we can use a nested if statements. So by using ELIF. Okay. So here taken a number. So you have to enter the number from 0 to 30. Here in the if case, what we have specified here is number is greater than 0 or number is less than 10. If it is from 0 to 10, it will print the if part. It is in the range 0 to 10. If else if, ELIF, else if the number is greater than or equal to 10 and it is less than 20. So the range is from 10 to 20. It will print, it is the range from 10 to 20. Else if the range is 20 to 30, it will print 20 to 30. So in this way, we will use the nested if statements. Done, students? Then talking about if, else statements. Okay. So this construct, if it is true, it will print the block of statements. Else if it is true, it will print the block of statements. Else it will print the block of statements. Clear? So this can be seen with the following flowchart. If the test condition is true, it will print the block of statements. It will come to statement block. If it is false, it will again check the condition. If that condition is true, it will print the block of statements in the block 2 and it will come to Y block. Otherwise, it will go to the else part and it will run the block 3 statements and come to the block Y. Is that clear, students? If the condition is true, it will execute block 1 and come back to the statement X. If it is false, it again check for the condition and If that condition is true, it will come to block 2 and it will execute the X statement. Otherwise, it will come to the else part and execute block 3 and will come back to the block X. Is that clear, students? So this is explained with the help of an example. So here we have taken integer as a number. Number is assigned with a number. So we have taken a number. If the number is equal to 0, then it will print the number is equal to 0. If the number is greater than 0, it is a positive number. Otherwise, it is a negative number. If you give 0, it will execute the if block. If you give 1, it will execute the else if block. If you give -1, it will execute else part. Is that clear, students? Yes. This is if, else statement. These are all selection statements. Clear, students? Till now we have seen if statement, nested if statement, if else statement, if else statement. These are all selection statements. Now let us see the iterative statements, that is while. While is an iterative statement. We can iterate the specified block in n number of times based on the condition given in the while loop. Is that clear, students? So here statement X, you are giving a statement, then while condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the statement block. Otherwise, it will come back to statement Y. Okay, this can be seen using a flowchart. So you have to give some statements and check the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the statements, again check the condition. That is iterating over there. Otherwise, if the condition is false, it will come back to the X. Clear? If the condition is true, it will execute till the condition is true. It will iterate the loop till the condition is true. If the condition is false, then it will come back to the statement X. It will execute the block of statements till the condition is false. Is that clear, students? So it will iterate over loop. This will be explained in the form of an example. Here we have taken I variable that is equal to 0. So here we are checking while I less than 100. Sorry, I less than 10 means, so I is iterated till we get 10. Okay. Now first initial I value is 0. Then print I end is equal to, so you are giving space for each and every value. Then you are incrementing the I value. In the first iteration, what will be printed? I 0 less than 10. 0 less than or equal to 10. So I is printed. That is 0 is printed. Then it is incremented by 1. It again check the condition. I 1 less than or equal to 10. Yes, it is true. Then 1 is printed. In the same way, I is incremented till we get 10. When 10 equal to 10, yes, it is true. It will print 10. Then I is incremented. Now the I value is 11. 11 is less than or equal to 10? No, it is false. So it is terminated. So till the condition false, the loop will be iterated. Is that clear, students? Then talking about the next control statement, next iterative statement, that is for loop. For loop is also provides a repetitive task until the particular condition is true. It is having some range. We will specify the range from where to start and where to end. Here in for loop, it is not like your C. It is having some small difference. Here we will use for in statement. For in looping statement will be used in Python programming. Let us see that one. Clear, students? So this is the syntax for loop. So for loop control variable. So you have to give the loop control variable in particular sequence. We have to give for loop control variable statement in particular statements. If it is true, then it will execute the statement block. If it is false, it will come back to the original program. Okay. So here, see here. Here you have to specify the range, and the range of numbers are assigned to the loop to control the variable. If those are true, it will execute the statement block. if it is, if till it get false. Is that clear, students? The range starts from 0 to 10. It will execute, the for loop will execute from 0 to 10. When the 10 exceeds, if you get 11, then only it will come back from. Is that clear, students? Is that clear, students? Let us see with an example in this class itself. Okay. Here in for loops, we majorly use the range function. It is a built-in function in Python which is used to iterate over sequence of numbers. To iterate the sequence of numbers, we usually use range function. Okay. The range syntax is range. You have to specify the beginning and ending and with how many steps we have to iterate the loop. Okay. So let us see with an example. So see here, for I is the loop control variable. In range, I must be in the range 1 to 5. Print I. So I in range 1 to 5. So where we have to print, first the I value is 1. So you are printing 1. Then you have to go for the next range. The range is from 1 to 5. So how many outputs we will print? We will have 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get 5, it will come out of the loop. Is that clear, students? So you have to print the same. If you want to print the numbers in the same line, we will specify the end here. And we are giving the space there. So it is printed in the same line. Is that clear? So see here, for I in range we are giving 1 is beginning. The beginning index is 1. The ending index is 10 and the step count is 2. Then the beginning index is 1. Then step count is 2. Then 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 2. What is 9 plus 2? Yes, 12. Then 12 is not there in the range. So it is come out of the loop. That's why here it is printed as 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Is that clear, students? So in this way the range function will look like. Is that clear, students? Then, so we will see the range function, some more examples. Here in this range function, we can give the range function as a single argument. If you give range of 10, then it is equal to range from 0 to 10. It starts from 0 and it ends with 10. Is that clear, students? Then, range is called with 2 arguments. It produces a value from first and to second. So, from 0 to 10, it produces the values. And also, it is having 3 arguments. As of now, I have already told you. The 3 arguments are, the first one is beginning, the second one is ending, the third one is step. Is that clear? You have seen the example also. So, in this example also, we have specified. Here, we have used a single index, that is 10. And here, we have used a double index. It starts from 1. It ends with 15. In the third one, we have seen it starts with 1, end with 20, with step count 3. So, range is 10, means the value starts from 0 to 9. So, it is printed as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So, here see 1 to 15 means the range starts from 1, not from 0. So, 1 to 15. So, up to 15 it will be printed. So, 1 to 14 it is printed. So, here in this, see here, the range starts from 1 to 20 with script 3. So, we have printed 1, 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 3, 13, 13 plus 3, 16, 16 plus 3, 19. So, that is range function. Is that clear, students? Then, talking about nested loops. So, here in looping, we are having only 2 loops, that is either for loop or while loop. In for loop, we are using for in and range function. Is that clear, students? In nested loops. So, we can use this for loop nested, outer loop and inner loop. So, to print the stars like this, we are using here the nested loops. For I in range 5, you are printing space. For j in range 5, you are printing star. So, based on this, the so-and-so nested loop will be printed. Is that clear, students? I'll show this example while typing, and I'll show this example clearly. Is that clear? So this is nested loops. We can write the nested loops like this. Then talking about break statement. Then talking about break statement. Break statement is used to terminate the execution. So to terminate, to break the loop, we generally use this break statement. We widely use this break statement for our loops, that is either for loop or for while loop. Or else we want to suppress at a particular point. We want to break the entire loop at a particular point. We generally use break statements. Let us see the break statements with an example. Here I is equal to 1 while I less than or equal to 10 means 1 less than or equal to 10. Yes, it is true. Print I means 1 is printed. Then in the next you are checking a condition. If I equal to 5. Actually we are giving I will be start from 1 to 10 values, but you are breaking this loop at a particular condition, that is at 5. So here I is equal to 5, you are breaking the statement, break. Then what is the output will be printed? It will print the values up to 5. After that it will break the statement and it will come to the outer statement. That is done. Is that clear? So to break the loop, we generally use break statement. To skip from that number of statements, we generally use break statement. Done? Then. So this is the form of breaks where we can use usually. In while loop, we can use the break statement. It will come to the outer loop. In for loop, we can use the break statement in the if condition. In the in inner for loop also we can use the break statement. If you do that one, the inner for loop will be come out of and outer for loop will not come out. Is that clear? So the transfer will come out of the inner for loop, not the outer for loop when you use in the nested loops. Clear? Then talking about continue statement. Continue statement is also appeared as like your break statement. The difference is it will suppress, it unconditionally transfers, means skips some statements and it will continue the rest of the statement. It will skip the statement at a particular point, at a particular condition, and it will continue the loop later. Okay, let us see with an example. Here for I in range 1, 11, if I equal to 5, continue. Means, so you are printing each and every statement. So now I is 1. So 1 is printed. Then it is incremented. 2 is printed. 3 is printed. 4 printed. 5. When it appears 5, it will check. 5 is equal to 5. Continue. Means you are breaking the 5 value to print. It will continue. It will skip the 5 value and it will again continue with the next statement, that is 6. So here 1 to 10 numbers are printed. The continue statement, by using the continue statement, you are skipping the 5 value. Is that clear? So this is about continue statement. Then, so these are the some of the where we use continue statement usually. We usually use the continue statement in your while loop or in for loop, or we can use it in your inner loops. If you are using it in your inner loops, it will continue from the inner loop itself. It will not continue from the outer loop. Okay. In the first thing we have seen it in the while loop. In the second thing we have seen it in the for loop. In the third thing we have seen it in the inner for loop. So it will continue from the inner for loop, not from the outer for loop. Is that clear, students? So next, the next statement is pass statement. Pass statement is required syntactically, but no command or no code has to be executed. So it is just a statement which are used. It doesn't perform any operation. It doesn't perform any. It's simply no operation. It will does no operation. Okay. So what this pass statement states? Let us see. In Python, pass is a null statement. The interpreter usually ignore comment entirely, but pass is not ignored. Past statement is executed, but nothing will be happen. Is that clear? Comment section is not at all executed, but past statement will be executed, but it does not does anything. Nothing will be happen when you execute Python, when you execute past statement, because past statement is a null statement. See in this example, for letter in hello, you have given a past statement, that is, so the statement is during execution, do nothing. The statement is doing nothing. The statement is doing nothing. Print pass letter. So here the statement will not be printed. It just, the past statement will show you, but it will execute. Clear? So here it will print HELLO. The statement which you have specified in the past does anything. It does not does anything. But interpreter will execute that one, but it will not be printed. Okay. Whereas comment, it will be totally ignored. But whereas in past statement, it will be executed. It will not be ignored, but it doesn't be printed. It does nothing. It is a null statement. So this is about past statement. Then the else statement is used within loops. Yes. Unlike your C and CPP, Python, you have else statement associated with loop statements. We can use this else statement in for loop. If the condition is false in the loop, then else statement will be executed. Okay. So we can use with while loop and for loop. We can use the else statement with for loop, use with else with while loop and for loop. Let us see with an example. If for letter in hello, what you are doing? Print letter end. If the letter in hello is there, we are printing the letters, that is HELLO. Okay. Then we have to print the else part also. Hello, done. If you want to print along the loop, anything we want to print along the loop, we use it with the help of else statements. So in for loop we can use the else statement, or in while loop also we can use the else statement. Done with this, students? One is a negative, so loop didn't execute. If the while loop is false here, in the C here, I is equal to 1 while I less than 0. I is not less than 0, it is greater than 0. So it will come to the else part and it will print I value is 1, is not a negative. It is not a negative number. So the above loop will not be executed. That has been printed. So with the loops we can print else part. We can use the else statements with loops. Is that clear, students? Preview. So in this class we have seen decision control statements, isn't it? So decision control statements, or we have seen selection statements and iterative statements. Okay. So in the next class we will execute so many programs related to these statements to have the better understanding of programming. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, students.